Hey, what's up? This is Curse. I'm over here at Dean headquarters in the artist room, and we're kicking it with Rev Jones.
Woo! Get down.
So, Rev, what's going on? I see like you've been doing a little tourism, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm just
rolling out with Salvador Dali today.
Oh yeah, I'm like a tourist. It's like being in New York with the "I Love New York" shirt on, but I'm in the Tampa area with the "I Love Dali" shirt on.
Well, I love Dali too, so that's a good trip over there.
Right.
So, we're wondering why you're here. Maybe if you might be able to.
Well, I'm here to see the greatest musical instruments made.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Especially the greatest that they're almost done with, the Rev bass.
We're going to go check that in a little bit. But I was wondering maybe if you could do a little favor to the players at home that have seen you perform for years on stage, and you do some pretty mad things, and wondering maybe if you can share a little bit of technique or throw some tips out to the players out there. Let's teach them something.
Well, it's right off, I'm going to teach you the most important thing to me, and that's this. I was telling Elliot about this. Usually, that's about all you're going to get on a string wrap from me. It's about 3/4 maybe. And what it does, besides always be in tune, is it creates more sustain because you're really pulling on it. When you go all the way around, it's less sustain because you're more of a wrap. So, I mean, it's especially when you got one when you can drop it like a fool like that, it's always going to come back. You know, if you have multiple wraps, that it's kind of like a rope. If you tie a rope around something and it's tight, and then you pull it, it's going to be loose. Just like a string. So that's very important. This is very important as well. These I put these little grooves in here. I actually,
so those actually notch.
Yeah, I actually scallop in a little bit with just a piece of sandpaper. Put a little silver Sharpie in there. The reason is because when I come over like this, I don't see anything. My head's spinning. I got this thing going on. I'm looking to the person next to me that's about to be hit by some ropes. So I have to be able to tell where I'm at. And if I'm doing this kind of thing with I'm letting you know what would normally happen.
Yep.
I have to be able to see where I'm at because that's all I see. So that's another secret of the trade. Especially I don't know if I'd be able to do that if I didn't have those there.
Right.
I mean, you can look at the little dots, but it's one of those things that most people are like this when they're playing. And they're getting the guitar thing, like they're looking at it. But so that's you got to think of these things before you do any kind of learn any other thing. It's kind of like the first thing you should learn is how to stand, because you got to look cool. You got to have that. You got to learn how to cheat, as I call this, and then you got to learn how to play. And basically, I always get asked about the over the neck thing. Basically, when I first started, everything I did here, I would just do it there. Your fingers. You should be able to control them either way. If you think about it, you can just sit there and tap them on something, and you can always control it. But a lot of people, they do this and they're confused. Oh, it's backwards. One way to get it where you can do it is to not use this hand. Which actually, if you're going to do anything with both hands, you have to be able to play with one hand as well. So one good way to practice is pick a song that's something that kind of moves like like the Kansas song. Something like that, and just or just even running. If you can do it with one hand, you actually build it. If you do this, it's it's a little harder because then you got to think. So if you're you know, it makes it a little easier. Then you can, you know, you can start doing the Michael Batty a little easier once you can play it here. And it helps when you're doing the two-handed stuff. If you were, you know, doing. You have to actually play the notes with both hands, you know, or if you're, you know, you have to be able to play both. I had one advantage. I mean, I always played with both hands, but I broke this hand in a touring incident I can't speak of, but so when I had a cast on, I couldn't play. So I actually sat down for about a month and I challenged myself to see how many songs I can play with one hand, you know. And speaking of the Kansas song, I used to do the you know, just pick stuff like that, you know, stuff that's actually moving, you know. Because once you can do that, then you use this hand, whether it's, you know, whether it's that or you're, you know, you have being able to, you know, there's a different, you know, and sometimes you can get that, people that play piano, they're lucky because they can get that sound.
Right.
That,
get the hammer on.
It's similar, you know, but you can get, you know, if you're playing a, two different sounds, kind of like playing. There's, you know, there's so many ways to make sounds that sometimes it's cool to, you know, add a, you know, it adds a little dynamic to your playing, you know, and it's kind of cool because if you're playing with like Michael Schenker or something, a lot of it, you know, it's, a lot of times I'll do that just to kind of create a...
Right, that percussive pulse in the low end.
That's kind of cool. It's like playing Chapman stick, you know, or something like one of these instruments that you tap with. It adds that, even if you're playing something basic, you know. You know, you can... It's never going to sound the same.
Right.
You know, no different than if you were... It's all the same note. They all have a different tone because... Because of the amount of vibration it happens, you know, it's going to be different, so it's going to have that slightly different tone. And I actually do a lot of that when I'm playing, you know. I purposely play, you know, in different positions just to create, you know, different kind of sounds.
More dynamics and
yeah, I mean, you know, something you would play, you know, like if you were in a rock band, you'd want that sound, but you know, you want that if you're with Mountain, you know, you want that because you want to create that, you know, that old EBO sound instead of. But
right on.
So, keep practicing. Never stop practicing. I don't practice, but you should.
Awesome.